This thing is huge.
And it could really cause mass panic too.
We can't let this thing get triggered.
Amelia, there's not much time. Could you contact Inspector Holliday? We'll try and see if we can stop this machine.
Yes, absolutely. I'll make sure to get him here right away. Please be careful.
Wait, this is gonna be quick time events. Disarm the arm machine.
You ready? Let's do this.
Where should we start?
It looks
Am I
like
gonna
it's supposed
fail
to
things
mix the
here?
liquids on either side in the central tank. This machine looks.
How catastrophic will it be if I
Let's
fail?
open it up.
All right.
Maybe I just fail on doing things? Yeah, the mashing ones you can't fail on, though. So I just eventually get it. Oh, am I gonna be able to do it? We could, in theory, just have Tim pull there until the end of time.
Wow. The culprit definitely put some effort into making this thing. Come on, let's disarm it.
I mean, why would they not put effort into
I
it?
think I've got the basic idea.
We need a
I
screwdriver?
know how to handle most varieties of machinery. So,
Do
let's
you now?
it. First, we need to take out these screws.
Are you sure?
Trust me, I don't call
I-
myself a great detective for nothing.
Do I have, like, a screwdriver or something? Okay. I'll just use my hand. This makes perfect sense. Alright. Oh, we got a jamming theme now. Alright, take off the panel. Okay.
Ah, it's this type.
It's
All
this
right.
type.
Pull the
Ah,
cable
basic
connected to the
stuff.
machine.
Alright, so I got a mash there. Good. Strange thing to mash for.
Pikachu.
Can't be
It's
that hard
on.
to pull out a
Don't
cable. Oh.
panic. This is... Tim, I've got it.
I am
The machine
very
will stop if we
tempted
push
to
the 4
see.
buttons in the order they light up. First, press the red
So
button
what
in the
happens if
center,
it runs
the one
out?
that's lit up.
I always love failing the QuickTime events to see what happens. So I'll let it happen here. I hope everyone has had a fantastic weekend here. Or anyone watching this on YouTube after the fact, a fantastic whatever day of the week it is. I have a 1 in 7 chance of getting this right. Fantastic Wednesdays right now. Like, man, what a great Wednesday, I'm sure it is. Technically, my odds are better than 1 in 7 because statistically people are most likely to watch things on apparently Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Not as much on Mondays, Tuesdays, or Thursdays. So apparently the best time to upload things is on some of those good days, apparently. I don't know. Anything else that happened recently that I can chat about? So it's Sunday today. To fill up the hole that I dug out to make my little Haskap garden. My dad and I went out to go get some dirt in bulk. But a lot of places are gonna be closed on Sundays. But one place that we called, the guy just happened to be going in, like, right at that time anyway, and he was like, oh sure, I'll get you some dirt. And so we stopped by. They loaded a whole bunch of dirt into the back of the truck there. And then brought it home and then just started shoveling dirt out and into the garden plot there. It's actually looking really nice now. Like, I can probably just send myself a photo here and show what was being worked on earlier today. Let's see here. So here, there's a Look at 'em Pictures channel. Let's see. Yeah, so after watering it down, like making it basically like mud to you know, get the dirt to go down and stuff, I pull up Look at 'em Pictures and then I find display capture. Yeah, so this is what was set up here. So it's a nice thing for 5 plants. It's this nice little L shape right along the back alley here. So just, you know, shovel a whole bunch of dirt. It's a bunch of grass and stuff from the hole I dug out. And this will be great to have plants in. So I only have 3 big Haskap plants right now. I have a whole bunch more sprouts. So maybe I'll just do like 3 for now and then do like a couple tomato plants that'll only last the 1 year over here. And then put like some Haskap plants there later or something. I don't entirely know. But yeah, that's, so there's a lot of dirt shoveling today. Was the case. Is that all that happens if you fail? Okay.
Pikachu, the time.
Okay. You just hear them scream, I guess.
Tim, I've got it. The
But yeah.
machine will stop if we push
Apparently
the
the
4
dirt was
buttons in
supposed to be
the
20
order they
bucks.
light up.
And
First, press the red button
you
in
know,
the center,
the
one that's lit
Doodle
up.
was there helping us out on a day that he wasn't, like, he normally wouldn't even be in, but just happened to be stopping by there. So wanted to give him a tip. I had a $20 bill. I didn't have like any 10s or anything like that. So you know, the next best thing I had was a 50, but he was like, no, I can't accept this. That's way too much. I was like, well, I don't really have any, wait, was it this way? Change or anything. Don't worry about it. For your troubles for helping us out here in this pinch and stuff. But he was just like, no, I can't. I need to concentrate on this or else I'm gonna mix up the order while I'm telling my story. Okay, it's fine.
It
But
stopped?
Yeah.
my dad was able to grab a whole bunch of like toonies from the truck there, and we met halfway and like had a $15 tip in addition on top of that after we made that up. So that's where we met halfway. But he seemed like a nice guy.
Pikachu?
Yeah. They had an article about this stuff in last.
Kind of hard to do
week's
memory
Detective
games while you're telling a
What?
story.
Detective journal?
Yeah, that was a joke. All great detectives have this kind of skill.
Imagine something actually being able to be disarmed
Alright.
that way.
Time for a final thought. In all the cases we've solved, there was one where Keith tried to directly cause you harm. Which one was it?
It was the, well, I was using the the controller there. Which instance connect to the true culprit? I'm supposed to drag Keith? Set the camera so it would fall on Tim from above. Yeah, just drag the one with Keith. Not really much of a
that's
challenge
right.
there. You should have just
You were
clicked on the
involved in
photo
an
is what it
accident
should have
that
been.
was all set up by Keith.
Yeah.
In order to cause that accident, Keith needed time to prepare beforehand. So how do you suppose he was able to do that? Is there a clue that could let us know?
I know who the true culprit is. Receiving instructions from the mastermind by letter or phone. Doesn't know the true identity. If anyone, Harry's whereabouts. Even Keith doesn't know if anyone does his mastermind. Keith wanted large sums of money he was being paid. So I guess just that he got, you know, stuff
right.
by mail or messages
Keith
and
must have
stuff.
been working with some kind of mastermind.
Yep.
That's how our information was leaked.
Hmm.
There were only 3 people who knew we were headed to GNN. And I'm not including Amelia. Ethan. Roger.
Doubting Mako, but not Amelia.
I think the mastermind has to be one of those 3. Is there any definitive testimony that shows us who it is?
No, but I've played enough video games and consumed enough media to know who the heck it is. Meika Okamoto said she would give it her best shot. Roger Clifford said my Pikachu can't use any moves. And Graham said if some sort of incident occurs, it'd be a huge scoop. No, it's not him! It's this guy! How is this guy the only one that I have a thing on? Wait, is this actually right then? Because then he would know that Pikachu can't exactly defend against the falling cameras and stuff. Oh my goodness, okay.
You know, Keith was the only one.
Because
who
yeah,
told
we're
that
going
I'm not
about
able
that
to use
incident
any
right now.
moves.
Is what we're thinking
So,
back on,
the
not
person with that information
a motive
has
for
got to
dispersing
be the
R right now.
mastermind behind all this.
Yeah. Okay.
Then that can only mean
A bolt?
brilliance!
The culprit is
Roger!
What? No way! No!
We need to let everyone know.
Yeah.
Oh, they clean up. They clean up after themselves. Like close that.
Tim?
Roger! Oh no, Amelia!
I can't do much more violent than holding her
focus on
arm,
what you're
unless
doing.
we're going to raise
I
this game's
understand
age
you mentioned
rating.
Keith. And now you've managed to wreck my machine. That's quite
I
an accomplishment.
wreck.
Tim, don't bother with me.
I just did a memory game.
Listen up. Open the valves on both sides of the machine.
What's he
and
gonna
start it
do?
up.
Roger, how can you do something like this?
Just get moving.
Let go of me.
Like, I get that they can't do much more violent
I just
to be
need
like
to
raid
turn
E
this
for
handle
everyone or
right.
whatever
Right.
it is. Either E for everyone
You
or everyone 10
completely
and up.
destroyed the circuit,
But it's so
but
goofy.
it can still
It's
be
just
activated
holding her arm.
manually if you open the valves.
Clever of you to have a failsafe. By the way,
What should you ask to distract Roger about the case about R? I don't know, about the case?
why are you targeting the carnival?
Less talking and more turning. But I suppose this will be our last conversation, so I might as well say. It's because I'm gathering data for R. There aren't a lot of opportunities
Oh,
where so many
I thought you wanted
Pokemon
to
are in one
showcase it
place.
so that you could sell it for
Besides,
more.
If
You're
GNN
showing what
gets
it
the
does.
scoop on the chaos, it'll help our reputation
okay.
that much more.
So yeah, that is a motivation included too. So both to test it and to, alright, now about R.
Why smuggle R in the first place?
Are all detectives this inquisitive?
What do you mean, why
To
smuggle it
seize
in the
control
first
of the
place?
world.
Oh, I
For
just
starters,
using it in the first place, I
needed
guess
to
he
make
means.
GNN the most influential TV
Smuggle it.
station in
Why
this
smuggle it?
city.
Because it's illegal.
And once I accomplished
Wow,
that, and
Spider
GNN was
Pikachu.
in my power, I could use it to control all the information in Rhyme City, meaning this city is mine to rule. But of course,
Do
plan
people
like
in the
that
modern
needed
world
money,
really
you know?
rule cities?
So wrong.
what's wrong is you two interfering in my plans. I have Mewtwo cells, fortunately.
Maybe it works differently in the
so I can
Pokemon
make
world.
as much R as I need. Anyway, where'd that Pikachu go?
Emilia, over here!
He doesn't have her arm anymore.
Blast! I let my guard down this time. But your Pikachu can't use electricity, now can it? Which means you are no match for me!
What is he gonna use?
Noivern!
Oh, the Noivern.
No!
Tim!
You are no match for me. Proceeds to run away. Oh, what? What is happening?
Its eyes are red. He must have used R.
That's not gonna attack
Seems
him.
too calm.
Oh,
Very good,
so it's a
Tim.
different type or
So what do
something?
you think of the new and improved R?
I think it's
do you
very
mean?
piratey.
This new version allows the Pokémon to recognize its partner. Do it, Noivern!
Oh, okay, so that's explanation then. Oh, and stuff is gonna go everywhere.
Trying to break the tank.
Not so fast!
Tim, stay back.
It's just so goofy. Come on, use a move, Pikachu. Do the thing. Yeah? I've never heard such an aggressive Pikachu before. What happens if I fail this, if I just don't mash? Can I fail it? He's just gonna keep chilling there on his Noivern. Also, while that was all happening, Carvia coming out of nowhere with a 38-month resub. That is a whole lot of months right there. I appreciate the 38-month resub there, Carvia, with the Pikachu high emote at the perfect time here. Hope things are going well today. Enjoy another month of the emotes in the sub match and all that fun stuff there. Wow. Yeah, he's just chilling up there. He's just having a good time. Like Dogi's readjusting.
Carviahi.
Carvia. I mean, oh, my cable's getting stuck. There we go. Oh, I have to master some decent speed here. Decent speed. Not that fast, though. Look at Mr. Clifford there, just living his best life up on Noivern. Having a great time. Alright, well. There, just narrowly did it. Yeah, most aggressive Pikachu I've ever heard.
Pikachu! Oh no! Pikachu,
How convenient that they landed up here. I thought it fully looked like they plummeted down below.
Thank goodness, he's awake.
You were trying to cross the border.
So I guess that means the case is closed.
We still need to get the cells.
Yeah.
Now he's just
Should be
passed
the
out, I
last of
guess.
them. It's over. You did good, Tim.
It's like a tiny orange.
Thank you.
Let's go.
So, did I win? Did I beat the game?
Who knows what would have happened if it weren't for you?
Of course he does the hair thing as he
Your
goes
help
by.
is much appreciated.
It's an honor. But you know, we also had an awful lot of help too.
Nah, it was your detective work that saved the day.
Thanks,
I'm
Gerald.
so surprised. I never expected him. But if you told me that it was Mr. Graham, now that I could have believed.
Thank you, Mako. You know I can hear you.
What kind of sounds?
There you are, just like I promised you.
Indeed. Thank you.
So, that means it's my turn now.
We don't have much time. Have you decided on which one to choose?
Yeah, I've made up my mind.
So be it.
Pikachu, what's wrong? Mewtwo.
Tim, Mewtwo, it knows Harry.
Pikachu!
There is no need to worry. Pikachu is only asleep. He will awaken in time.
Hold on!
Your father, Harry, is still alive. You will find him eventually, provided you do not give up.
But what happened to him? Wait! Mewtwo!
Pikachu had passed out, so I picked him up and went back to my dad's apartment. I was exhausted and slept like a log.
What's up, Pikachu?
Pika?
What?
Yeah.
What's going on? Don't you understand me anymore?
Pika! 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 Pika!
Oh no. Is it because you pushed yourself too hard yesterday to save me? Pikachu.
Blah! I got you! Oh boy, that was a good one!
No, that wasn't good.
Don't let something like that upset you. You're a detective.
I'm not upset. I knew it was just a prank.
Oh, did you now? Well, get used to it. I'll be taking care of you for a while.
Taking care of me?
Well, what's next?
Searching for my father. Hopefully, with the great detective Pikachu as my partner.
All right, now you're talking. Let's go, Tim.
Yeah. I've gotta admit, I was surprised. I didn't think you could pull off a Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt? What are you talking about?
You don't remember? You saved my life.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess I do remember saving the day.
Of course you do.
More importantly, I made you tear up just now, didn't I?
Well, I guess that's Detective Pikachu. We got through it before the release of the sequel here. I love this credits theme. It's really cool. But yeah, it's definitely a decent bit different from how the movie adaptation went. So, at the end, there's still a little bit of a mystery. Like, the R case, it seems like, is resolved. We, brought Clifford to justice, and, that big red dog won't be on the streets anytime soon, dispersing any more of his pirate R, I guess. But there's still the mystery of what happened to Tim's dad. What happened exactly after the accident there, and with Mewtwo and stuff, and with Pikachu asking Mewtwo to save Harry. And then the whole shebang with, Mewtwo being like, oh, your dad, Harry, he's still alive, and you'll find him if you keep looking. And Mewtwo also asking Pikachu, like, have you made your choice? And he's like, yeah, I made my decision. So, in the movie, there are some hints in this game about what happened. It doesn't say anything definitively about what happened to Tim's father, but there are definitely some hints about, the whole deal with, that's strange, Pikachu never used to like coffee. That was always Harry's thing. but now it seems like Pikachu likes coffee, and some other. I think there was a couple mentions of personality differences with Pikachu now being a decent bit different than the way that he was before. So there were these hints that's like, huh, wait, is Pikachu Tim's dad? Is that what happened with Harry? And I was worried that it might be a cliffhanger ending in the movie as well, but again, like, the ending was like a singular, like, plot line. It was done, it wrapped itself up. And in the movie, the person that played Harry there, Ryan Reynolds, Detective Pikachu, he was, Tim's father. They were the same. Where it's like, oh yeah, to save Harry, they became one and the same temporarily there, and he lost his memory as Pikachu and wanted to figure out what the heck was going on, And his decision in the end in the movie is to separate. So Pikachu goes back to just being like Pikachu, and Harry goes back to being Ryan Reynolds, that is an actual human again. So it makes me wonder if, and what most people probably imagine is the case, is that in the movie, the decision that he made with Mewtwo at the end is to separate, but in the game, the decision that he made at the end is that they want to stay the same as one being. He wants to remain as Pikachu, and the other choice would have been to separate again. I guess that's what seems to be implied by the movie. So yeah, I am going to be curious to see how this plays out in the sequel here, because the sequel's what, like a month and a half away, something like that at the time of streaming this, even less time by the time that this goes up, so the sequel is coming up here. Then what exactly is going to happen? They're going to be searching for Harry, but if Detective Pikachu / Harry, which, is basically confirmed by the movie now that Pikachu is Tim's dad, then if Pikachu has all his memories, is he just going to play along like, yeah, let's go search for Harry. We'll find him, don't worry, knowing full well that he is Harry. If he knows, I would think that he'd have all his memories by now, especially if he made the decision to, stay together. I don't know, man, what's going on. But, I guess in terms of my, review of this game, one of the things I have mentioned throughout playing it is when it comes to the Pokemon IP in the Pokemon world, there's so much interesting storytelling potential possible with that. Like, there's so much cool and creative that you could do with it. And there are some things that do cool and creative things with it, like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I quite like Mystery Dungeon. But, there aren't really a whole lot of spin-offs. Oh, that's what she's supposed to look like. There aren't really a massive ton of Pokemon spin-offs nowadays. There's a decent few. Most of the Pokemon spin-offs nowadays are freemium games and, mobile apps and stuff, because that's where the big bucks are. So we don't really get all that many spin-offs in Pokemon nowadays that are just like fully fledged games. Like a few, but not as many as something like the Nintendo DS golden days for Pokemon spin-offs or anything like that. So there's a lot of storytelling potential, but it's not really tapped into all that much, especially nowadays. It's like the mainline games have never really done anything all that crazy with their plots. I wish they did, but they don't really do anything all that interesting. So it is honestly really refreshing to see them actually take this world that has a lot of storytelling potential and do interesting other things that hasn't been seen before in the series. Take a risk, try something a little bit different, and give us a Pokemon story that we haven't seen before in any of the other Pokemon media. I do greatly respect them going for that, and it is really refreshing to see stuff like that. So, big respect for that. The story itself, how do I feel about it? It's interesting for sure, but it's definitely padded down a whole lot, or it has a lot of padding. And that's probably just because of, like, gameplay-wise with the, need to have these multiple different investigations. Like, oh, you need to talk to this guy on the bottom screen there. Oh, I need to click on now. You can see my mouse cursor. You need to talk to this guy for a couple minutes about R. How about you do an entire investigation about, like, some crazy stuff going on with some crazy landlord, realtor person lady on the island. Do a whole investigation here, just have a 2-minute conversation with him at the end. I guess this kind of ties into gameplay, but I guess it's both story and gameplay. I do wish that the investigations that we were doing did actually relate more to the case at hand. Like the GNN one as well. That one had a little bit of relation, I guess, because it was also like an attempt to take us out of the picture. And it's like, it was Keith. So that one at least had a bit of relation in the second half when with the stuff with the violin. The first half had like nothing to do with it. It was just like, you're here to see like a 1-minute video that we offer for you to come and see? How about you do like chores around here for us? How about you be an unpaid intern for the next hour just going around doing everything that we need? You know? So I do wish with the story that everything was a lot more centered around the main story rather than having these little side plots that exist as filler that will have no relation to the overall story and I'll just like forget about shortly after. You know, I do wish that everything was a little bit more connected there, that everything was working towards the bigger picture. I feel like it would have felt a whole lot more satisfying personally. But maybe they'll find a way to do that in Detective Pikachu 2. I don't know. What is the main investigation going to be in Detective Pikachu 2? What are we doing? But yeah, so the story I thought was intriguing. You know, definitely very toned down compared to what it could have been to be like a raid E for everyone or whatever this is, you know, kind of thing. But yeah, it was intriguing, but not like a mystery game that makes me go in like, oh my goodness, that was amazing or anything like that. But it was interesting. It was definitely interesting. I'll give it that. The music, I never really noticed all that much. Like the title theme is kind of cool. The beginning of that credits theme was kind of neat. For gameplay, I guess I already chatted about it a little bit with the story there. What actually happens if I hit continue here now? I'm curious. Oh, it just goes to the carnival? Like the beginning of that chapter? Because I do not want to listen to these few notes over and over again while I'm doing this little review here. Oh, it just goes to here. Okay. Hold on. Before I talk about the gameplay, let's talk about like visuals and aesthetics and stuff. We do have to acknowledge that this was on the 3DS, which, what, came out in like 2010? The 2011, I believe, sorry. And would have originally looked like this.
I'll make sure to get him here right away. Please be careful.
You know. So, this came out on, I guess it would have been 5-year-old hardware when it first came out. If the 3DS came out in 2011 and this originally came out in 2016. When did the 3DS come out? Let me just double check. 3DS release date. Yeah, so 2011. But by the time that it came out in the West here, it would have already been 7-year-old hardware. Okay, oh yeah, that's the MGBA hotkeys. I need to do this to restart, and then I'm muting it. Is what I'll do. And then we can listen to some other tunes while I ramble here. Hold on. Let's see here. Yeah, let's mute Citra. Let's pull up some tunes. Here's some Yumi and Gravity that we listened to at the beginning of the stream. This is some chill tunes. I love me some Planet Coaster music. But yeah, so graphics and stuff weren't exactly amazing, but for the frame of reference that's on the 3DS, they were fine. There was nothing really wrong about it. You know, it might look a little bit jarring in a, you know, emulator here put into HD, but, you know, there wasn't anything inherently flawed with it, well, apart from maybe emulator glitches, like the people that turned into just the void that happened for a couple people, a couple instances. That was pretty funny, though. But yeah, I assume that that was probably an emulation thing and not an actual game thing. But the bigger thing with visuals, the animations, like, my goodness, most of the conversations in this game were just like the standing next to one another and chatting, and I do wish that there was like more portraits for like Tim and stuff like that. I wish they were more like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon portraits, like a lot more expressive. They felt very basic in this. They did, there was several different expressions. Tim did not have all the expressions that he needed. Like he'd be like, stop right there, while his portrait is like, you know, it just didn't really, work out a lot of the time. But, so could have used some more portraits there. But the actual fully animated things, there was a lot of fully animated cutscenes in this. Like, look up mainline Pokemon games, and the fully animated cutscenes in that will look, like, smooth and nice and satisfying, too. Like, you know, how do I phrase this? The ones that are fully animated. So most of the cutscenes in that game, in the mainline Pokemon games, are just, like, simple animation presets. Like, on this line, do this animation. On this line, do like this pose, you know, stuff like that. So I'm not talking about those, I'm talking about like the full-on cutscenes. When those do happen in the mainline games, they are usually pretty nice when they're not bugging out and killing the frame rate and despawning people like Scarlet and Violet. Apart from that kind of thing, the way that they go is smoothly and like they're animated nicely and stuff like that. But there's not a whole lot of them. This was filled to the brim with expressive cutscenes. you know, I guess when your game is a lot more simple to program and, you know, you have a lot more resources that can go towards stuff like that, maybe. I don't know how stuff is budgeted here, time and money-wise, but, my goodness, like, the expressiveness with, like, Pikachu and stuff like that. Like, hitting Pikachu on the bottom screen and then, like, the little skits and stuff like that they did. Like, you could see, like, when he's pressing his non-existent eyebrows down, just, like, his brow in general and stuff like that, and the expressiveness of his face. It was really good. I quite liked it. That was really awesome there. The animations in general were really good, but Pikachu was the best. Pikachu was definitely the best for the animations there. The voice acting definitely went a long way in helping bring things alive. Pikachu was my favorite. Tim was probably my second favorite. Some voices weren't super great. Hello, Lionheart. Things are going well tonight. Some voices definitely weren't super great, like that other head honcho at GNN. That... what was the name of that chef? Just like... let's just pretend his name is Carlos, even though that's the name of the Hi Hat Cafe. Where the head honcho is just like, Carlos, why? Why would you do something like this? Like, is where it sounded like AI. Just pretending that Mr. Chef guy's name was Carlos when I know it wasn't, but I forget. I forget the name of Mr. Untrustworthy Mustache. Like, some voices weren't super great, you know, like that. But a lot of them were really good, and they actually brought on, like, a lot of really talented voice actors for little roles in this. Like, I recognize Pikachu's voice from a lot of different games I've played. Or, like, Detective Baker, Agent Baker, Detective Baker, I'm pretty sure it's Detective Baker. Being the guy that's voiced a lot of things in different games I've played as well. The first one that comes to mind being Geralt in Fire Emblem Three Houses. First thing that comes to mind for Pikachu in terms of other roles that he's played, I'm fairly certain, is Owain in Fire Emblem Awakening. This is the first time that I would have heard his voice before. Like, he's a little bit deeper here. There was what was his name? I don't remember. I'm just gonna call him Patrick as I did when we were doing it. There was Patrick Seitz that played the guy that I don't remember the name of. That I'm calling Patrick in the PCL there. Where it's like, wait, I know that voice. So they brought on like some really talented voice actors here that have played in a lot of different things to play like some minor roles in Detective Pikachu. Like, they did not just, you know, go onto the street and just scrape together like random Joe Schmoes like, hey, can you do this? Like, they definitely got, like, some talented voice behind this, and it definitely did help bring things to life. I do wish that there was some more voice stuff in it, but, you know, the fact that this game has voice acting when the mainline games that sell so many tens of millions, like, I think Scarlet and Violet sold, like, what, 20 million and, like, very shortly after its release, or something like that? Absolutely ridiculous. How the heck did this game have voice acting when the mainline games don't? When this was like a spin-off that only even came out a year before the Switch came out originally, and then a year after the Switch had been out in the West, so it barely gained any traction because everyone wanted to play the Switch. How does this get voice acting and the mainline games don't? It does not make any sense, but the voice acting was good. I enjoyed it. Is this just on loop? Here, go to my playlist here. Let's start listening to some Planet Coaster themes. 22.6 million. It's ridiculous. And how does it not have voice acting? How is it not? Let's listen to more Planet Coaster music. Nice chill tunes. Love Planet Coaster music. But yeah, voice acting was nice. The general gameplay, I do kind of respect that. Okay, adjust the volume here slightly. I do respect that they tried to make a game that anyone would be able to get through, so that, you know, kids could play this as their first mystery game and be able to get through it just fine. But the hand-holdiness of this was, like, really, really excessive at points. Like, I would know exactly who's responsible for something or other, or exactly what happened, but I still have to get more opinions and get this information, and then piece it all together in a little diagram at the bottom. It's like, come on, I know, though! I already know it! Or someone will be like, oh, you should go investigate this, and then I start moving away, and then Pikachu wants to say something, and I click on Pikachu, and he's like, by the way, we need to investigate this like so-and-so just told you 5 seconds ago. It's like, yeah, I know. You know, so the hand-holdiness was a little bit excessive. So I feel like, I don't know why this game has the 2 different difficulty modes that you can't toggle between mid-playthrough. There's easy mode and normal mode. We played in normal. And apparently the only difference with easy is that it can give you hints if you ask. Why isn't this a game where you can just toggle between the difficulty modes when you want? Like, what is the purpose of not being able to change your difficulty later. Like, if you're playing something like, let's say I'm playing Fire Emblem on the hardest difficulty, and the game is not gonna, the game does let you change to easier difficulties if you can't handle the hardest one, but, you know, it doesn't let you change to harder later, because once you have, like, a hard save file, it's like, yeah, you've gotten through that level of challenge without it being any easier than that, and that's what your save file reflects. But in Detective Pikachu, it's like, what? I can show that I have, like, a normal mode save file, or I don't have a mark here that says I did it on easy. Man, that really gives me a whole lot of gamer cred. This should have absolutely been a kind of game where you could just switch between them freely, and then have a little bit less handholdiness. Like, just take away a little bit of the handholdiness, but allow the player to switch to easy mode at any point to get more direct hints if they are genuinely stumped on something and like, what the heck do I do here? Don't just take away access to that because they played on normal mode for the friggin' Detective Pikachu gamer cred of not needing any hints. Because what if a situation crops up that they do need it, you know? I feel like that would have been a lot better of an approach here, but that's my opinion. The general game, it didn't really feel a lot of the time like I was investigating the things that were suspicious. It felt like just investigate everything, talk with everyone, because who knows what random thing will give me a little bit of evidence, and I guess that's kind of realistic in that sense, where it's like you don't know where you might get a hint. But, you know, the fact that 95% of the time you're just getting useless stuff that means nothing, especially during that carnival at the end. Like, there was a few people that I chatted to that had important stuff, and it was just filled with other NPCs that would just tell me fluff, and I'd be like, man, this isn't exactly super satisfying. It doesn't really feel like I'm making progress until I stumble upon the one person that the game needed me to talk to. Like, that itself is not super duper satisfying. I don't know. The gameplay in general is not quite my cup of tea, personally. I get why, you know, some would like it, but I don't know if it's quite for me. I feel like the amount of fluff, the amount of fluff with that of, you know, having to talk to and investigate every little thing just to get all the bits of information, even if you already piece it together in your head. All the filler with all the investigations that had nothing to do with the main story, just to have a chat with this guy or see like the 1-minute video at the end, just made it feel like I wasn't really progressing the main story all that much, so it didn't feel as satisfying going through. And yeah, I feel like if I'm playing a mystery game, I haven't played a whole lot of mystery games, but the other ones I have played the most of, being the Ace Attorney titles, I, well, for one, much prefer the courtroom segments than the investigation segments in those games. Like, I'm typically not as big a fan of the investigation segments, but I much prefer the investigation segments in those games. Like, a lot less of the fluff. It's always related to the case. Like, sometimes you'll talk about some things with some people that might give you nothing, but, you know, there's only a finite amount of stuff, and it's not like you're going around talking with, like, every single NPC in a crowd. Like, it gets you to the point a whole lot faster. It's a lot more streamlined. So if I'm playing a mystery game, I much prefer something like an investigation in Ace Attorney. Like, this was not quite exactly my cup of tea. But, you know, it did have a lot of interesting things going for it. Like, you know, as I've discussed in this review, I do generally think, like, yeah, that was a pretty alright game. Maybe not quite for me, but yeah, that was interesting. It had some interesting things going for it. I have some respect for it doing what it did, but I do hope that, you know, Detective Pikachu Returns will have some changes here. It seems like in terms of, like, visuals, there isn't a whole lot of changes, though, from what we see in the trailers, which I'm really worried about. The fact that the trailers make it look like it's still on the 3DS, you know? Like, not in terms of amount of pixels. Like, the pixels, like, it's obviously in HD, but just, like, the models and environments and stuff make it look like it's still on the 3DS, so, you know, it's not exactly gonna be winning any awards in the graphics department there, but maybe in, like, story and gameplay, maybe it'll do some interesting things, you know, maybe it'll do that. So here's hoping. I am intrigued, like, I am genuinely curious to see where the story is going to go from here. If I had to guess, I would guess that these would be like a pair of games. They're probably not gonna try to make it a trilogy. Maybe they will go crazy and try to make it a trilogy, and then just have like the next title on the next console or something like that. But I assume that Detective Pikachu Returns is probably gonna be where they wrap up the whole plot with Harry and all that, and the whole main story and stuff. And I am gonna be intrigued to see what they do here with the game versions with that plot line. Like, they resolved it in the movies with him making a different decision than he made in the games here. So in the timeline where Detective Pikachu, aka Harry, decide to stay as Pikachu, what does that mean for things going forward? Like, what's going to happen here? I will be intrigued to see. And maybe they'll make some gameplay improvements about some of the things that I have some criticisms for here. Maybe they will change things around. Oh, one more thing that I can mention that I did like about this game. With the QuickTime events, like the QuickTime events are always super easy, but I guess they wanted to have like the player actually doing something in some of their longer cutscenes where action was happening. I love like all the different animations and stuff like that happen from failing. Like, they could have easily just had like it cut out or something like that and then try again, say like you failed. But there were so many awesome cutscenes that you get by failing QuickTime events that were so funny. And it made me want to fail every QuickTime event at least once to see what would happen. Like, you have to aim Detective Pikachu here when you're shooting out of the cannon towards the Ferris wheel. And if you don't press A right when it's in the specific area, you shoot him way off course. He's like, Tim, I'll get you for this. Like, the fact that there was so much effort made into these scenes that most players probably wouldn't see. I assume that most players would just be like, QuickTime event. And then, like, you know, gamer instinct kicks in and just, you know, succeed the QuickTime event immediately. Don't give it any other thoughts. And you're like, hey, I succeeded. And miss out on the enjoyment that is failing all of them. That was good. I enjoyed that. The various scenes that they put in there. Just for, like, the small percentage of players that are actually going to fail QuickTime events. That was good. I had a good laugh at that. And those are clearly scenes that were meant for players to have a good laugh out of. You know, I really hope that there's some more of that in Detective Pikachu Returns. Because that was good. I had fun with that. So, yeah. I feel like that basically wraps up my my review here. I don't know if there's anything more to say. So, you know, it has some interesting things going for it. Not my personal cup of tea. Like, if I wasn't a content creator, I don't know if I could see myself playing through this. Like, I would just do as I did several years ago, of just looking up the cutscenes and seeing the story that way, and being intrigued about it, rather than going through the entire game. So, yeah. But we'll see what happens with Detective Pikachu Returns, and see if it's improved. Though it does look pretty jarring. So, we'll see. It is currently 2 in the morning. I'm gonna go get some sleep here, is what I better do. So, yeah, when does Detective Pikachu 2 come out again? Let me check here in the schedule thingamabob. So, Detective Pikachu Returns is October 6th. Oh, I thought it was like halfway through October. It's Super Mario Bros. Wonder that's coming out halfway through October. So, this is coming out in just a little bit over a month. It's currently the 4th of September, 2 in the morning. And yeah, October 6th. So, the first Friday of the month. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm glad I got through this game in time. I'm actually kind of glad that we started at Fragapalooza, even if Guzma and I weren't able to get through it the whole way together. Because if it wasn't started at Fragapalooza, I don't know if I would have had the time to get through it. Because this took longer than expected. It was not as short as it was reported to be online. So, like, I would have been able to beat it in the month leading up to, you know, the release of the sequel, assuming that, you know, the university doesn't keep me too busy. But with my whole daily upload schedule of cutting these streams up into parts and then queuing them up, you know, there was a chance that it might not have been done before Detective Pikachu Returns came out. So, you know, kind of glad we started this when we did, and we got through it. But yeah, I think it's time for sleep. That's what it better be. Yeah, I'll make like the doggy here and, you know, start taking it easy myself and getting ready to conk out. So, yeah. With that, thanks everyone who hung out and stopped by and tuned in for this Detective Pikachu adventure. And I hope to see you. Hopefully the Detective Pikachu sequel here will be nice and, sorry Felix. Hopefully we'll be able to enjoy the Detective Pikachu sequel together as well. And that's one that we'll all be going into blind as a new release there. As opposed to this one that's been out for a while and had a movie made of it. Oh, and the doggy's awake. Hi, Jesse. You. Aww. Would you like a treat? Would you like a treat before we sign off? Here, I'll hand you a treat back there. Would you like that? Let's see here. Here's a treat for you. Here you go. Yeah, I know you really like those ones. Yeah, she's like, that was good. Yeah. But yeah, hope you all enjoyed Detective Pikachu. Hopefully we can enjoy some Detective Pikachu Returns together as well in very shortly. So yeah, until next time, take care and see you and good night.